Guess what? The USCIS may not hate us as much as we thought. Want to know more? Stay tuned. So, the 20th of October was a very instrumental day for the international student community in the US. This is because the USCIS clarified a lot of questions that the international community had pertaining to the proclamation that the US President Donald Trump had signed back in September. And yes, I know I am extremely late to the part, given that I'm shooting this on the 6th of December. But if you've been following me on my social media channels, you know that I've been keeping a little busy. But I'm here now. I promised a video on this, and I am here to deliver on that promise. So, to give you a brief background of what this video is going to be talking about, and to lay the groundwork for this video, the international community in the US was in pandemonium in September when the President Donald Trump signed a proclamation which essentially said that those who are looking for an H-1B visa would have to pay a 100K fee, or rather their sponsoring companies would have to pay a 100K fee for them to file that petition, which would essentially mean that it is the end of the line for international students to be getting an H-1B visa in the US, and also in a sense could possibly mean that it is the end of foreign education in the US, especially for those who are looking to get an ROI out of their education. However, the Trump administration, a few days after this proclamation was signed, did issue a lot of clarification, which I did cover extensively on my video, which you can find on the top right hand side of the screen right about here. You heard it there first. No, I'm kidding. You didn't. I'm just trying to act like some of those news channels who claim to be breaking out news first when every other news channel on the planet is claiming the same. Sorry to have digressed, but the point is that a lot of nerves were calmed right there, right then. Some of which include that the H-1B fee would not be applicable for those who are extending their H-1B visas, and it would also not be applicable every time that you file a petition or your company files a petition. In that video, I also spoke about how immigrant attorneys were of the legal opinion that those who are looking for a change in status would not be subject to the 100K fee either, which would essentially mean that if you're looking to move from an F1 visa to an H1B visa, you would be exempt, which again provided massive relief for international students international students who are either studying at universities or are working on their OPT. However, the USCIS had not officially given clarification, but now they have, and I am here to tell you some excellent news that the USCIS has officially said that the change in status, those who are looking for a change in status in their visa, so from an F1 visa to an H1B visa, for instance, would not be subject to the 100K fee, which is excellent news, fantastic. As long as the company that's sponsoring your visa operates in the US and are applying for an I-797A, and as long as they are filing your petition from the I-797 route, you are good to go. And again, just to simplify things, I-797A is essentially the route that companies take for those applicants who are already in the US. So that is usually the route that you would take if you are on your OPT. Conversely, those who are not already in the US or haven't studied in the US or aren't actively working in the US and are looking for an H-1B application, companies usually have to file an I-797P, which is essentially for applicants who are not currently in the US. But again, that is not applicable for international students. So I would implore you to relax. If you're at university, study hard, look for jobs. If you're working, keep working hard. But at the same time, also stay ahead of the curve, because there is a proposed change in how the H-1B visas are now going to be distributed. The Trump administration is looking to move away from the lottery-based system, which is what the game was up till now, to a merit-based wage system. I've made an entire video on that, which you can find on the top right-hand side of your screen, right about here, which will allow you to stay ahead of the curve and make sure that you are at a high chance of getting that H-1B visa, because if done right, this new system could actually work in your favor. One gray area that I personally find in this entire thing, though I might be wrong here and I might be overanalyzing, some may say that I am a bit cynical or even paranoid here, but given how the political climate is in the US right now under Trump administration, it would be better safe than sorry. So the proclamation here says that so the article that I'm referring to here, which by the way is from the University of Texas at Dallas, which I will be linking in the in the comment section below, which you can refer to and be able to make your own assessment as well. So that article says that the proclamation does not prevent any holder of a current H-1B visa or any alien beneficiary following petition approval from traveling in and out of the United States. So if you already have an H-1B visa, from my understanding, you don't have to worry about having to travel outside the US. Or even if if a petition has been approved, again, you have nothing to worry about. But what I am a little confused about, or perplexed about, is whether it's for those individuals, for those aliens, so as to speak, who are probably waiting for their H-1B visa. Perhaps they are waiting to get an approval for their petition, or maybe they're still on their OPT. Would it be safe for them to travel outside the country? Now, I do personally know people who are traveling without an H-1B visa. They're currently on their F1 visa. They're currently on their OPT as well, STEM extension as well. But I just find it, if I were in your place, I would exercise caution, given again the aforementioned political climate in the US. I would implore you to talk to your immigrant attorneys and make sure that your paperwork is in place and you are not going to face any issues when you come back to the US, because that's the last thing you'd want to do, is to be jeopardizing your future in the US if that is what you really have your heart set on, that is to be settling in the US or to be working there for at least a medium term. And again, this article by the University of Texas at Dallas does actually refer to the proclamation, and the proclamation itself asks you to exercise caution, and that is saying a lot, doesn't it? I'm going to read out exactly what the proclamation says as per the article. So there are still some aspects of the proclamation that may not be fully understood yet and can only be addressed by various federal agencies, including USCIS, the Department of Labor, and the Department of State, and interpreted by qualified immigration attorneys. This is what the university itself is saying. So even if you don't want to believe me, I think that it would be a safe bet to believe what the university is saying and make sure that you have everything in place before you leave the US without an H-1B visa. Some other interesting things about the proclamation which have been mentioned in the article is that for those individuals who are applying for an H-1B visa outside the US, there are certain industries which I again covered in the previous video that are going to be exempt from this 100K fee in view of national security. Now, what those industries are going to entail is still up in the air. It's still not completely clear. It's a bit inchoate in that sense. But we shall find out in the coming few weeks what those industries are going to be. And if you want to stay abreast of that, you can subscribe to this channel, because I will definitely be making videos on that. Also, make sure that you follow me on my social media, because it's difficult for me to make real-time videos for everything. You've seen how delayed the USCIS video got, though I think that should be the exception and not the rule. But it might be best to follow me on Instagram or connect with me on LinkedIn, so that you can stay abreast of all information regarding US education in real time. Another interesting thing about the proclamation is that we are still not sure whether universities are still going to be exempt from the H-1B caps which existed before these new rules came in. So an excellent thing about working at universities in the US was that, unlike tech companies or any other corporates, for example, universities were not subject to H-1B caps, which would mean that they could apply for H-1B applications year-round. So what a lot of students would do is that they would do their degree in the US, work on their OPT, and if they were not able to get an H-1B, secure an H-1B, they would do their PhD. That is, if their heart was really set on working in the US, they would do their PhD and get a job at a university, which was a lot easier before, as it was in terms of getting a job in the profit sector. However, the rumor mill is going strong that there might be changes to this, and that universities may also be coming under the purview of H-1B caps. Again, there's still not a lot of information. And as soon as there is more information, I will be more than happy to talk about it on this channel yet again. So yes guys, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still watching, if you found this video useful, if you derived value out of it, please do share it with those who are looking for US foreign education or are already in the US at this point. This will help to quell a lot of worries that were going around and are still going around. You want to make sure that you bust all the myths, bust all the canards, and that's what I'm here for. Again, I would just like to give a quick disclaimer here. in the sense that I am no legal expert, and all the resources that I have used to make this video will be linked in the comment section below. But again, like I mentioned in the video before, it would be best to talk to immigrant attorneys, especially if you're looking to move out of the US without an H-1B visa. And I'm not saying this to safeguard my own self. That is a secondary objective. The primary objective is to make sure that I'm safeguarding your interests, because your interests are of paramount importance to me, and my interests, I believe, are subservient to yours. I want to make sure that I not misguide you in any way, which is why this disclaimer is in place. And of course, the secondary reason is to make sure that I don't get sued, because, well, I'm not Bruce Wayne, so I don't think I can afford to get sued at this point. But I think you get the point. This little bit of humor that I was trying, but no wonder I'm not a stand-up comedian, right? So anyway, the point is that I do hope to provide as much value to you as I possibly can. And if you like this content, please do leave me one of these. It helps immensely with the algorithm of the channel. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much for being a part of this community. If you haven't, please do subscribe if you found this video useful, and if you are looking forward to more such content in the future. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope that we can sit together and build this community even more. This channel is real talk only, no fluff, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Until next time.